Hello, and welcome to this presentation in which you see how to deploy an assembly as a customer user with Oracle Enterprise Manager Cloud Control. Before a customer user can deploy templates and assemblies, the customer administrator has to prepare the software library, then prepare templates and assemblies that can be published and shared with customer users. When adequate resources are provided to customer users, they can then request servers in the self-service portal. The servers are deployed from templates and assemblies for which the users have permission to access. Now, let's deploy an assembly. In this session, I'm logged into the Oracle Enterprise Manager Cloud Control self-service portal as a customer user, and the portal homepage is displayed. Click on Request Servers to start the new server request flow. On the General page, the zone is Sales Marketing, and we keep that setting. Click the small magnifying glass next to the source input to identify the assembly source. Here, now, click the list entry to select Oracle Linux 6.2, which is a scalable PVHVM guest. Then click on Select. If you want, you can change the name of the assembly instance, but we retain the default. Click Next. The deployment configuration page appears. Click on the server under the assembly name. The configuration options appear for the selected server. Recall that an assembly can include more than one VM. Click the checkbox to enable high availability. This option enables the VM to automatically restart if the underlying hardware server fails. The root password was set in this user's preferences and will be applied when the server is created. Enter the tag SMVM. This tag allows us to easily locate the server from other displays in Oracle Enterprise Manager Cloud Control. Click on the small triangle next to the network label. Then click on the list entry for the network interface. Note, the backend network value is filled by Oracle Enterprise Manager Cloud Control. The current value is 50 PVI, which is an internal private virtual interconnect used by VMs or servers within the virtualization environment. To change this, click on the Configure Networks link at the upper right corner of the display. The dialog box that appears shows the current network configuration. The assembly network value is ZenNet, and the network QoS type is any network. We can't change the assembly network, and we retain the any network value for the network QoS type. To change the backend network, click the small magnifying glass. When the network list appears, click on the desired network, 51 PVI, and click Select. After changing the backend network, click OK. The 51 PVI network now shows up in the backend network column for the ETH0 network interface. However, the IP assignment value is DHCP, and we want to use a static IP address from a network profile. While the network interface ETH0 is selected, click Edit next to the pencil icon. The Edit Network Interface card dialog appears, and the new network assignment for 51 PVI is in place. Click on the IP assignment menu and select Network Profile. Grab the lower right corner of the dialog box and stretch it down a small amount. Click the small magnifying glass, then click the network profile named 51 PVI that appears for the network, and click Select. Now click OK. The IP assignment is set to static from Profile, and the network profile name 51 PVI appears in the interface configuration. The network profile provides the host name and domain name. It also provides a fixed IP address from the range or list of addresses in the network profile. Click the small triangle next to the storage label to see the default storage configuration. There's only one disk associated with the server, and it's the system disk. To add another disk and change the memory and CPU configuration settings, click the server size menu and select Medium. The medium machine size applies 8 GB of memory, 4 CPUs, and an additional disk of approximately 500 GB. We accept the current configuration on this page and click Next. The schedule page appears, and the default values are to start the server immediately and maintain the server for about a year. We retain these values and click Next. The review page appears with a summary of all the settings. To see server details, you can click on the server name link on the list. However, we are satisfied with this configuration and click Finish to begin the deployment job. The self-service portal homepage appears with a confirmation message at the top. Dismiss the message by clicking the small X in the upper right corner. Select the latest request at the top of the 10 latest requests list and note that the status is scheduled. Refresh the page by clicking the circular arrow in the upper right corner. Now the status has changed to executing. After several minutes, refresh the page again and see that the status is changed to successful and the server now appears at the top of the list of the 10 last requested servers. Click the server name to see server details. The server details page shows us that the network profile has been invoked. The host name is 51pvi12 and the domain is 51pvi.com. The IP address is 51.0.0.12. Click the Server menu at the upper left corner of the display and select to launch the VNC console. The console window appears and we set it to full screen. Log in as root and provide the password. The password for this server comes from the User Preferences option. Enter the command ipaddr and see that the IP address 50.0.0.12 has been configured for the VM, and enter the cat command to display the interface configuration file for ETH0. The network interface is fully configured with the DNS server and gateway IP addresses, netmask, and other settings. You have seen the deployment of a server from an assembly. We added storage and invoked a network profile to configure the network interface. This ends the presentation. Thank you for watching.